Welcome to BCJ Cast. I'm your host, Jay. Joining me this week is Brad
Hello.
and Corey,
So,
and nobody else because, god damn it, if we can't get a fourth person on this show at some point.
I can do one with Zach on Thursdays. Maybe even get Brad in there, but that's about it.
Again, three people.
Yeah.
I wish we could get Zach in on some of these. That'd be great.
Like he was even asking like what we were gonna do today.
Yeah, just record like always.
Yeah.
So, topic for today. Brad, you came up with this.
I did, because I figured it was something that we all knew enough to fill a couple hours with, and that is Star Wars. I mean, everyone knows Star Wars.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Star Wars is, pretty big.
Even if they don't know, even if they've maybe never like seen a movie or whatever, they at least know, you know, uh, Luke, I am your father, stuff like that. It's a big enough.
Lightsabers.
Yeah, lightsabers. It's a big enough cultural thing that that people recognize it, which is why I thought it would be a good topic for today.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking love Star Wars as a kid. Just absolutely loved it. Um, geez, I mean, I watched I think the original trilogy multiple times by the time I was like 6 or 7. Didn't really understand what was going on, but I liked it.
There's something about glowing swords that just chop people up real easy. That just it
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 really
it
excites you.
yeah, it gets me going.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Same here, buddy. That's why I have the lightsaber. Like the lightsaber turning on as my notification.
Which is just the weirdest notification sound ever, by
Yeah.
the way.
Oh, I remember one time I was taking a piss, and as I pulled out my as I pulled it out, the lightsaber notification turned on. Whoa.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
there was also a point where we were doing some training for airsoft, and as we all as we all convened right into the middle, my lightsaber notification also went off.
Oh my.
Yeah,
See,
so needless
I
to
don't even
say,
have sound on my phone like at any time. I couldn't even tell you what my notification is for it.
My ringtone is the Duel of, or wait, no, it wasn't. It's the Obi-Wan versus Anakin song.
uh,
That
Battle of the Heroes or Duel of the
yeah,
Heroes, it's one of the two.
Duel of the Fates is the Darth Maul song.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, I have that on my Spotify mix. I was
Mm.
I was lit I was listening to it going to the gym just the other day.
Oh
I sing
yeah.
along to the to
Darth
the all
Maul.
the opera
All the
people.
chanting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever you call it.
I mean, it's singing.
Yeah.
John Williams didn't have to go that hard, but he
What he
did.
did, and he did that for us.
Yes. Yes, he did.
And it's wonderful that he did. John Williams, just absolute genius.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So
national treasure.
I guess the best place to start is, when were you introduced to Star Wars?
2005, Revenge of the Sith. I saw it in theaters.
Was that your first Star Wars movie?
That was my first Star Wars movie that I could remember.
Huh. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
had no idea what the fuck was going on, but I saw lightsabers and I'm like, ooh, that's cool.
What about you, Brad?
my legitimately my earliest memory is of us moving into the house that we live in now. Like me, I was 4 years old,
Mm-hmm.
moving into our new house, and I was violently sick. So just like vomiting everywhere. And so what happened was my mom put on like while the movers were moving all our furniture in, I was sitting against the wall because we had no furniture. So the moving guys put in uh like the TV first and like hooked it up for us. And then my mom just sat me against the wall and I watched Phantom Menace uh on VHS
VHS.
while the movers like moved us in, and I sat huddled like basically like just hugging a like a paint bucket that I
How old were
was
you?
like 4.
Okay.
But yeah, I was hugging a paint bucket that I was vomiting into.
um, I was gonna say, so I think my earliest Star Wars memory is seeing the Phantom Menace in theaters with my family. Uh, I was 4. I was 4 years old.
I
I
was 2 when it was made.
Yeah,
uh,
I was 4 whenever it came out in theaters in 1999.
1999. I was 2 as well.
Yeah,
I didn't. I saw the Revenge of the Sith when I was either 6 or 7, or 7 or 8. 7 or 8.
yeah. As I say, we saw. I think we saw all of the movies in theaters together. Um, like I said, Phantom Menace is the first one that I remember though. I liked it even when I was that young. I thought it was cool. Like pod racing, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Also laser swords. I mean, who doesn't love laser swords?
Yeah,
The
especially
communists.
especially
You
big
mean the
evil.
space communists,
Yes,
aka the Jedi?
the
Yeah,
Republic.
yeah. I mean, if we're looking at that spectrum, it like the Jedi versus the Empire is literally two socialist regimes fighting each other.
Well, yeah, you have one side's the communists and the other side's the fascists.
Yeah,
I mean, it's literally what it is.
but
That's why the Hutts had it right.
No
Yeah,
argument there. Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna try it.
to be
Yeah,
fair though, the Empire did nothing wrong.
I mean, I do have an Empire wallet.
I mean, they did, you know.
Hey, they got rid of the communists. That makes them pretty golden in my book.
Yeah, but you're getting rid of one socialist regime to only put another socialist regime.
Hey, they got rid of the communists.
Uh, I mean, yeah, I guess, but a fascist isn't all that great either.
No, but it's still not a communist.
I can't argue with that point. I'd still rather have none.
Oh
I
yeah, none is best, but fascism over communism any day.
I
That's why
will
I
I
said
will I will say this though. The Empire did bring order to the galaxy, and then the New Republic fucked it all up.
Yeah, I mean order through fear, but that's still order.
Yeah.
Lawful evil.
order is overrated.
We know what your opinion is on that, Brad.
The Hutts had it right. You don't get a Han Solo without the Hutts. So everyone, thank your local, not local, but like
Pizza the
thank
Hut.
your, yeah, Pizza Hut. No, thank your local anarchist movement. You know, your local, not Antifa, but you know what I mean, like honest to God, anarchist.
Yeah.
Friend, neighbor, relative, commune, whatever.
Ay ay ay.
I mean, the Huts are just space extreme capitalists.
Yeah, anarchists.
They're ANCAPs all the way.
Yeah.
Just like you, Brad.
All right. So let's try to stay away from this political talk. I mean,
We're
it's
talking
great.
about Star Wars.
We're talking about Star Wars. Look, all right, all right.
It's all politics.
The prequel trilogy was about politics. I'm not gonna lie there. But what was your favorite Star Wars movie?
Probably Revenge of the Sith.
All right, Brad.
I gotta go Revenge of the Sith.
All right, see, this is where you're wrong, guys. It's obviously The Last Jedi. No, no. Jokes aside, I'd probably say I had the most fun with Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, I mean that's the most popular one.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really striking, new ground there, Corey.
I know, right?
See, so like here's the thing, right? So in trilogies, the middle movie tends to be one of the most lackluster movies, just because it's the in between phase for from the beginning to the end, and the beginning and the end is usually really interesting, and the in between phase is usually like kind of awkward. It's kind of like the developmental part that gets you to the end. Star Wars didn't have as bad of a time with their second movie as most other franchises. I still feel like, for me personally, it is one of the least interesting.
I can see where you're coming from. It's just when I was rewatching the movies, like I think it was probably 4 years at this point, 4 or 5 years ago.
Hmm.
Um, it took me a couple days to get through the first and second one. It took me, and I got through Revenge of the Sith quite fast because I would probably put Revenge of the Sith as my second favorite,
Hmm.
and then I basically just binged the OT.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's how a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
this might be a slightly controversial, but I mean, I think the only reason that people like uh, Empire Strikes Back so much is the twist, because
yeah.
the rest of the movie isn't that great.
I mean, yeah, uh, I guess that does kind of make sense,
Yeah.
because I agree with you, Brad. Like, I think of the original trilogy, The Empire Strikes Back, which is everybody's favorite for some reason. I think that's the weakest entry of all of the movies.
I mean, yeah,
Of all of the original trilogy.
yeah, I'd
Um,
say so.
because I mean, like the first movie especially is very good, because it sets up everything you need to know about the universe,
Yes. Yes, it
about
does.
like who people are, what the forces are at play, what the force is, and what it can be used to do. Um, and it sets up a very very interesting story that makes you want to watch more. And then the second movie kind of comes in and it expands on the force and says that Darth Vader is Luke's dad. That's it. Like, nothing else happens in that movie.
No, I mean, you see Darth Vader block some blaster bolts.
Yeah, with the force, which, I mean, that was kind of one of those things. It's just like, again, just extending what we know about the force. um I
Here's
mean,
what
that's literally all that movie does. Like, because Hoth basically has no importance to the rest of the story. Um, the Millennium Falcon going into the asteroid has basically nothing to do with the rest of the story. The only point about anybody ever going to Bespin is just to get Luke to get to Vader, and that's it. That's the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, this might be, again, this is sort of a hot take. Here's how they should have ended that movie. They should have ended that movie with Luke falling down the pit and then cut to credits. Because I mean, Luke is
No,
missing. Luke is missing at the beginning of the next movie anyway. He's missing at like not missing, but you know.
I think that's way too dark to end
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
especially because the sequel movie wasn't coming out for some time after that.
yeah. Especially with the whole controversy with see, like George Lucas trying to get Spielberg to direct the last movie.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Like
no,
if if it was modern day, I think you could get away with that, but I don't think you could get away with that back in the day.
yeah.
I don't think you could do that. It wouldn't fly.
Especially basically as like the Empire was flexing its might against the rebels during that whole movie to end off with the hero supposedly dead. Like
Yeah. Hmm.
it's basically there's nothing you can do against this unstoppable force. We just lost our Deus Ex Machina. It was just too big of a hurdle to climb at that point.
I'm not saying I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying like if that's how if they like re-released it, like if George Lucas tomorrow was like, "Hey, got a new version, like, you know, here it is." And that's how it ended, I'd be like, "Man, that was pretty good." Like I just think it's you I mean, I get like okay, you're setting up the next movie, right?
Yep.
But I mean, like, it's one of those things. Like, I don't like the situation's supposed to be bleak. It's not that bleak. Like going into the last movie, like I mean, the rebels, I guess, got like, you know, sort of like crushed at on Hoth. But beyond that, like, pretty much everyone's healthy. Even Han's not like dead.
Yeah.
You know.
Here's an important question, Brad.
Okay.
So let's say we went with that idea that after Luke falls, you cut to credits. Okay.
Yeah.
How how do you explain Luke showing up in the third movie without taking an exorbitant amount of time to basically do a flashback sequence to all of that?
Well, I mean, the sequence at the end of the movie isn't that long. It's like 5 minutes.
Correct.
And I mean,
Hmm.
at the beginning of I keep wanting to call it Revenge of the Jedi. It's not Revenge of the Jedi.
Return.
Return
Return
of
of
the
the Jedi.
Jedi. At the beginning of Return of the Jedi, they basically have like a 5 minute dialogue sequence where C-3PO and R2-D2 explain where Luke has been as they like try and infiltrate the Jabba's palace. So I
It's
mean,
left
it's like
very vague
it's left very vague.
intentionally. Intentionally.
But I mean, you could do the exact same thing at the end of the or at the
But
start of the
here's the problem though, right? So my problem with that, I'm going from like a film director perspective and film critic perspective is, um, there are multiple aspects that unless we're shown aren't really are really difficult to like grasp. Like for example, how did the Millennium Falcon know to go back to get Luke? Unless you see that scene and you get that idea that hey, Leia is force sensitive too, which is foreshadowing. Um, it's that doesn't make a lot of sense unless you see Luke getting his new hand when he shows up with two hands. That's not going to make a lot of sense unless you have C-3PO straight up said, "Oh, and he got a new hand." I just don't think that particular method is good for storytelling.
well, I mean, that's what they like I said. I'm the only reason I say that is because that's essentially what they did in the next movie. Because, that's the only way to explain like that was the only way that they were able to explain, and by they I mean George Lucas and like the writers of the movie were able to explain why suddenly he's, now incredibly powerful.
Well, one of the things that you also have to come in factor with that scene is Obi-Wan and Yoda were talking that if Luke fails, there is another one, and you don't know who that other one is unless you see that Leia is also force sensitive as well.
Correct. Um, you need to set up that Leia is force sensitive by the end of that movie,
Eh,
and in order to kind of tie all the loose threads from that movie, like the one offs and stuff like that together. I think that the way that they did it is perfect.
I mean, the only reason, again, I just think it like the twist is fantastic because it was before every other movie decided it needed a twist ending.
Look, just because you black pilled yourself doesn't mean you have to black pill other people, okay?
What?
All I'm saying is that because I mean they essentially do the same thing. Like, oh, Luke's been, you know, Luke's been training with or Luke's been training like by himself, and then he just like waltzes down the stairs and then just
You
like kicks the crap out of a Rancor, and we're just like, oh, he's super powerful now. He's not gonna fail.
I don't think he was though. I think he went back to Dagobah to
I mean
finish his
that's
training.
I I think that's the explanation that they gave as to why he's not helping them is because he's been off training.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the
But
thing.
that's one of those things though. You don't like outside of like the first couple sessions of somebody training, you don't actually need to see them train the entire time. You can just say that, oh, they're training, um, because otherwise you just get bogged down with pointless information, or you do a training montage which does not fit the Star Wars
Well,
aesthetic.
I'm not saying you need a training montage. All I'm saying is just, in the dialogue of them going to rescue Han, like just add like, oh yeah, and he's alive too. I mean, you can do it more
So
subtly than that, but like,
again, like the problem is that you're comparing them not showing irrelevant, unneeded to be seen events with events that really do need to be seen in order to move the story and the narrative along. Somebody like saying that somebody's training does not move the narrative and the story along. Saying that somebody was rescued because somebody else has force powers, and they were able to restore his hand by using like biomechanical engineering, that's kind of important, and you need to see that.
Yeah.
Versus training, which again, like I said, outside of like the first couple sessions when somebody's learning all these brand new things for the first time, that way you can explain everything to the audience. Outside of that, you don't need to show training whatsoever. So
stupid.
throwing all of that, like, oh, we went back and we found Luke and he got a new hand and he's been training on Dagobah, and to one line by like C3PO just doesn't, the movie would be much worse for it. The
Yeah.
entire series would be much worse for it.
You're putting a whole bunch of information that, us fans want to see in one huge throwaway line.
It's not about fans. It's just good story. It's just good
Yeah.
storytelling.
Well, I'm not that good at storyteller.
That's why I'm the DM. You were gonna say something, Brad.
Well, no, never mind. I was going to ask a question, and then I answered it myself.
Oh,
But no, I mean, yeah. All that to say, and I mean, all I mean to say is that I do agree. It's the weakest of the three.
hmm because then you get Return of the Jedi, which you save Han, Yoda dies, which is kind of big.
Yeah.
Um, you find out about third Death Star has to be taken down.
Third Death Star, second Death Star.
Did I say third? Sorry, I meant second. My
Yeah.
bad. Second Death Star has to be taken down. Um, you have your big adventure on Endor. Luke gives himself up to go fight Vader and meet Palpatine, and then everything goes from there, and then you get the ending. That's a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
that are all important to the narrative and the story. Um, when you compare that to the second movie, when there really is very little to the overall narrative and story, for in essentially the same amount of time, you tell a whole lot more. That was always kind of my problem with the fifth movie, is that some of it just straight up feels like filler.
I can see that.
Especially the asteroid scene.
With the big giant fucking worm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was so unnecessary.
See, that's one of those scenes that I don't remember until someone brings it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was in there too.
I remember it. I just don't know which movie it's from.
Yep, that's the fifth movie.
Yeah.
I
if you
remember
said,
like yeah. I remember like the whole like fucking situation, and I just don't remember like which movie it's from. Is it from 4 or is it from 5?
No, it's from 5.
Yeah.
4 was pretty streamlined.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think the other great thing about those movies is that for the fourth movie and the sixth movie, everything seemed like it was important, like it was necessary for the story. And in the fifth movie, it seems like over half of it was fluff.
well, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like a lot of people go, like, "Oh, Sixth Sense is really good." It's like the Sixth Sense isn't that great until the twist.
Yeah, it's not really that great.
Well, I mean, but that's the reason people give for it being so great is like,
Yeah.
it's like the end all be all when it comes to like twist endings and stuff like that. But like the movie itself sort of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I mean, you can make stories about, hey, not a whole lot happens, and then, oh, there's a cool twist at the end that recontextualizes everything. And sometimes those movies are good, and sometimes they're not. I did not think The Sixth Sense was particularly good, just because it's a whole lot of nothing happens, and then there's a twist that makes you recontextualize some of the things that you saw, but it really doesn't change anything about the story at all. You compare that to another movie that's kind of similar, which is The Shawshank Redemption. And that movie has a whole lot of things happening that do get recontextualized in a meaningful way by the end of the movie whenever you find out the twist about the poster. Because that changes everything that he's done. Everything is all of a sudden, it has a completely different meaning.
Isn't that the highest rated movie on IMDb?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I really don't use IMDb at all.
I don't either. That's something I've heard a lot, is that it's the highest rated movie on IMDb, and I have no idea if that's like true or not.
It could be.
It could.
I mean,
Alright.
it is a phenomenal movie,
Yeah.
which I just got to see for the first time this last year.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Why is that?
I'd never seen it before.
Yeah.
Hence why I only got to see it for the first time this year.
I never seen The Shawshank Redemption or The Sixth Sense. So there's a reason why I was being quiet for most of that time.
Well,
Sixth Sense isn't good. Don't bother watching it. Shawshank Redemption, you should watch it. It's very good.
just wait until we're roommates, Corey.
All right. So least favorite Star Wars film now, and I think it's probably going to be unanimous. Last Jedi.
So I actually don't consider the newest trilogy to be canon.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to remove those three from talking for right now.
Okay.
And I'm going to say my least favorite movie from the original 6. I'm gonna go with the fifth movie. I think The Empire Strikes Back is the worst.
If we're gonna be doing that, then I'll have to say Attack of the Clones.
Really?
Yeah. I
Attack of the Clones gets a lot of hate from people. I don't agree with it. I think it has terrible parts in it, but I also think it has some phenomenal parts in it.
there are some phenomenal parts. It's just yeah, you have
I'll
to.
put it like this: the sum of the phenomenal parts and the terrible parts is greater than that of the fifth movie, which is just almost entirely mediocre and then has one great part.
I'm with Jordan. Like
So what?
I
The only part about the fifth movie that I think should be rated very, very highly is the twist. I mean, it's one of the reasons why Star Wars is remembered is because Luke, I am your father.
Yeah.
Um, but that is the only phenomenal part of that movie. Everything else is mediocre at best, if not bad in some points. I'm not talking about the acting. The acting, that's a knock on the second film.
Yeah.
Um, but for episode five, I think the writing is pretty lackluster. The events are pretty bad and disjointed. Um, there really doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of cause and effect in the fifth movie.
Well, one of the reasons why I I don't really care for the second film is it was the film that I had to take like multiple sessions to watch through. It, the terrible acting, the terrible CGI, like the only like really memorable parts that I know of is the ending sequence, which is really good when they basically escape, fight, and the fight with Dooku versus the clones and droids.
You didn't like the You didn't like the chase through the city? Like
Oh,
that's a lot of fucking fun.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm just now remembering it, and one of the
Oh
main
my god.
reasons why I remember it is the blooper when Ewan McGregor is
Yeah,
doing
the
that little,
dance.
yeah. Uh
No,
yeah,
the chase through the city is great, which is kind of basically how that movie opens up.
mhm.
Um, I even though the acting was bad, I liked the relationship development between Padme and Anakin. It definitely gives a whole lot more feeling and context behind their relationship, which occurs later. Um, I like the Tusken Raider
I
slaughter.
Yeah, I was gonna
That
get
was
to that.
important.
I was gonna get to that. Yeah, that's probably the most memorable sequence in there is when Anakin murders the Tusken Raiders for murdering his mother.
And the
Yeah.
women and the children.
And the children too.
sand. I hate sand.
Yeah. Because like that's important. Obi-Wan Kenobi going to Kamino, that's incredibly important for the story. Finding Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I love this, I love the prequel trilogy, right? I'll like when me and Brad probably move in together, we'll probably watch the whole first six movies again. And I'll sit through it. Like I love Star Wars. It's just now that I think about it, maybe the Phantom Menace is probably my least favorites.
I think of the original trilogy, The Phantom Menace is definitely the weakest.
Uh,
Um,
uh,
I know people love shitting on the second movie because the acting's pretty terrible. But
yeah,
when you
the
look at it from a narrative perspective and a writing perspective, it's actually quite good. Um,
yeah.
Everything is cause and effect, which is incredibly important whenever you're trying to write something believable.
Hmm.
Because if you don't use cause and effect and you just go with arbitrary bullshit,
It's
that's how
like
you end up with the most recent trilogy, where
it's like
cause and effect don't matter.
it's like poetry, so it rhymes.
Oh god.
But yeah, no, like I totally agree with you on that point. The recent trilogy, it was basically it wasn't a thought out trilogy. It was more so two directors fighting each other.
Yeah, everything about that trilogy was just contrived and arbitrary. It was hot garbage.
Yeah.
And the thing was is when when The Force Awakens came out, I was excited and I went to see it in theaters and I saw it in theaters and I thought, well, you know, it's gotta, there are some issues, but it's setting up for something really interesting and I can't wait to see what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then The Last Jedi, or The
Last.
Last Jedi came out,
Mm-hmm.
and oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, I
I
remember.
I heard the rumors. I didn't even bother seeing it in theaters. I ended up just watching it on Netflix, and even on Netflix, I hated it. I felt like I should probably try to sue Disney for wasting my time, for loss of time, because it
Uh,
was that bad.
the most enjoyable thing that came out of the Last Jedi is Mahler's critique on it,
Yeah.
I
which is
mean,
like
like
conti-
I,
continue.
I still haven't seen the movie. Like
No.
I've seen enough. I've seen enough on the internet about it that like I know the story, but it's just like yeah,
It's even worse than what you could relay through like
So
talking.
everybody always praises the throne room fight scene between the guards and
No, it's
Ray.
horrible.
Hold on. When it first came out, everybody was praising that. I'm not praising it. No. Like it's terrible. It is slow. It looks fucking sloppy. The guards aren't working together. They aren't communicating. And legitimately a one of the guards has like two knives and literally just drops one knife and like basically that saves Ray's skin was just post production. It's like, oh my fucking god. Like just generally just the movie is just absolutely a fucking dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I mean I saw I saw Force Awakens in theaters and was like sort of a little disappointed, but still kind of hopeful. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know, then I saw the next one and was incredibly disappointed to the point where I didn't even bother seeing the next one. Like I didn't bother seeing the Last Jedi.
Uh, So I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that saw Rise of Skywalker. Is anybody?
Um I have I've seen enough people and footage from it to know the entirety of it. Enough to know that it's a disappointment.
Yeah. So I watched it with Brock, right? Me and my buddy Brock went to go and watch it together, and let's just say, basically throughout the whole movie, he was just like, "So this is how it ends, right?" And I'm like, "This is how it ends."
Yeah.
So a Palpatine is the one is the chosen one. She's the one that finished off the other Palpatine and chose the name Skywalker.
Boo.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of those things, like, because I was telling you guys uh, off the podcast, like, I'm going through and reading all of, like, the Legends books, and nothing makes me more angry than, like, sitting and, like, listening at work and stuff like that to these, like, fantastically written books, and
Mhm.
just realizing that, okay, none of these characters are now canon. Like the
Yeah.
Disney took over, and now all of these characters uh, just don't exist.
Yeah.
There was also one major controversy too with it was Kathleen after the backlash of Riot the Last Jedi. Kathleen Kennedy goes and says it's hard when there's no source material.
Oh
Mhm.
my god, did that make me angry?
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, it's oh boy. As somebody that actually read quite a few of the, the extended universe stuff, before Disney acquired the rights. Uh, I was devastated when I found out that none of it's canon.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I mean, I grew up on KOTOR, on
Mm-hmm.
the original Clone Wars uh, animated series. Like, just all of that being gone, just it made my heart hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that has not that has been nice is between the Clone Wars and the Rebels series, they have brought in a lot of the characters and the lore from some of the extended universe stuff. Um, so it's not all entirely not canon. For example, I believe the KOTOR stuff is all canon, considered canon now,
Yes.
because
With
Malak and Revan are considered to be canon to the universe, which means their events are canon.
When did that
Um,
happen?
with the Rise of Skywalker, the Sith troops, the Red Stormtroopers, they're based off of Revan's troops in KOTOR.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're luckily, because of some references to like the Rule of Two, and to Darth Bane, the Darth Bane trilogy is considered canon, which is one of the best trilogies in the extended universe. If you have not read it and you're a Star Wars fan, I highly recommend it. It is phenomenal,
It's
absolutely phenomenal.
that trilogy. I reread and or re-listen to like once a year, because those are like by far my favorite Star Wars
Yes,
books.
yeah, because you actually finally get a glimpse at what the dark side is like.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to be a Sith? Um, and what better place to start than with the one that's initiated the rule of two?
Oh yeah.
Like, for the for what led up to the birth of Palpatine and Vader. You know, it really brings a whole lot of context to why the Sith do what they do throughout the entirety of the Star Wars movies.
Well,
Well, up until Episode 7.
yeah,
Yeah.
but no, like I mean, those books are fantastic, and I really enjoy. Like, I never played the game, but they released um, 4 books based around like the events of the
Knights of the
MMO,
Old Republic,
not Knights of the Old Republic,
or just the Old
the
Republic.
Old Republic. Yeah,
Yeah.
those books are really good
Hmm.
because like the one of the books is, I think it's just called Revan, and I
Hmm.
finished it the other day. It basically goes into, and I don't think this stuff is canon because I know those games aren't anymore. Um,
Yes, they are.
We just said that they
or
are.
Yeah,
not those games. I'm talking the MMO.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know about that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it goes into basically what happened to Revan, like during the events of uh,
The Old Republic.
Knights of the Old Republic, the
Hmm.
second one, where like the Revan disappeared. You play as Mitra Surik.
Hmm.
Anyway, so it's basically like, okay, where did Revan, what is Revan up to? And the book itself is really good. And then like just a lot of the stuff that happens like in the MMO, the
Hmm.
Old Republic, like some of the
Yeah.
big characters that you meet in the game. Like I said, I
Yeah.
never played the game, but
Yeah. My wife's father it was a huge Old Republic fan.
No,
I mean, yeah, I never played the game, but
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, not a huge MMO fan.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't know what it is about MMOs. I think it's just their like inherently grindy nature for no reason that
Yeah.
makes me hate them. And I used to
Yeah.
be somebody that thought I would love MMOs. No, I don't.
Yeah. Well, it's just like World of Warcraft never really appealed to me.
Oh God, no.
I like the CGI scenes of the Old Republic, but like I knew it was an MMO. That doesn't really appeal to me. Like I love Final Fantasy, but I'm probably will never pick up Final Fantasy 14 because I just don't like MMOs. They just don't appeal to me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the trailers that they put out for those games are like,
Fucking top notch.
oh my god.
Oh,
And then you actually go to play the game, and then nothing fucking like the trailer, and you're like, oh, I have to grind for 15 hours to level up.
Well,
No.
I never, when the game was like popular, I never had like a computer that could
Mhm.
play those games. So it's
yeah.
just like I'd get on my phone, watch the cinematic, and go like, damn. But yeah, no, those cinematics are fantastic.
Oh yeah, they are.
But I mean, like the sort like sort of back to like my original point, like the thing that I hate most about Disney is that they did, and until some of the other things that they've come out with sort of saved their ass. The a lot of the you know a lot of the characters and stuff like that were up until recently non-canon.
Yeah.
And I think the only reason that they made any of those characters canon again was the massive backlash.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I think Disney trying to just kind of go their own way was just a terrible idea for Star Wars. Um,
No. Yeah.
but it's also not a surprise considering how just absolutely fucking greedy Disney is and always has been. Um,
Mhm.
so it's one of those things that whenever I heard that Disney bought Lucasfilms, I was just like, oh, good God! Well, there goes my one of my favorite, series.
Yeah. And the absolute shit hiring of Kathleen Kennedy.
Fucking hell, dude.
Well, I mean, the thing that I don't get about fucking like what Disney did with the property is like, if they're just out to make money, that's fine. That's what every company is out there to do. But it's like, if you want to, you could have made 100 movies out of the stuff that they had at their fingertip, like all the books and stuff like that. Like, you could have literally just option the rights to all the books, release 900 movies, make trillions of dollars, and it would still be more well received than the shit that they put out.
Well, the person that you have to look to for that would probably be Kathleen Kennedy herself,
Yeah.
because she's the one that she's the one that instituted that, with the force is female type shit, and fucking gotta have these strong independent female characters in these films,
Her name
even
is
though
Darth Zana.
even though you have like Mara Jade Skywalker walking around.
Yeah, Bastilla Shan, Satil
uh,
Shan,
uh,
bunch of really good, strong female characters that
mhm.
I mean,
you know
fuck it. Still,
already
still,
existed.
still talking about canon. Still in production whenever they Disney acquired it. Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought for a while that she died, because it's left ambiguous that if she survived her fight with Vader and Rebels or not.
Well, it's been confirmed
Yeah, well,
now.
obviously now. She showed up in The Mandalorian season 2, and she's getting her own series.
But I mean, like, yeah, it's just they had tons and tons and tons of good material to just draw from, stuff that's way better than the shit that they put out, and they just decided, like, well, that's not good enough. And it's like, well, obviously it was, because your shit sucked. Like,
Well, I
Well,
mean,
the reason why they didn't want to do that is because then they'd have to pay royalties to whoever wrote the book.
it's-
yeah.
it, but I
And
mean,
that's the thing is we're talking about such a tiny sliver of money. That's how greedy Disney is that they wouldn't even pay that little amount.
And now they're
We're
scared to
talking fractions of a percentage.
and now they're scared to release a new trilogy.
they
Yep.
should be.
Yeah.
I
I
mean, that's
mean,
like I get that it's a fraction of a percentage, Jordan, but like
Mhm.
it's compared to what they like the absolute like shit sandwiches that they released back to back. It's like they would have made way more money.
Oh no,
Just
I agree with you. I
we all
agree
agree.
that they should have paid the fraction of percentage. It's just Disney. Disney is so short-sighted and has their heads so far up their ass that they could not possibly believe that paying that fraction of percentage would be worth it because that they'd lose that money then. They'd rather try to come up with their own bullshit and then lose even more money. You know,
And now if they do try to crawl back to those authors, they're probably going to say no.
yeah, yeah.
They burnt
No,
that bridge.
I agree with you, Brad. They should have. I was really hoping they would have, but they didn't.
Yeah. We all agree that the EU should have been canon and not the Disney canon.
Correct. Yeah. No, it's pretty bad.
Like I wanted my Star Wars Lovecraftian horror with Abeloth. Now I don't get
No.
it.
Yeah. I mean, hell, man. The Star Wars Christmas special is still canon.
Star Wars
as it
Christmas
should be.
the Star Wars Christmas special is still better than anything that Disney put out. Don't at me.
Uh, mm, I
I disagree.
the holiday special was really bad.
Oh, I know. I know.
I'm you know what? I'm not big on defending the most recent trilogy, but
Okay.
the most
All
recent
right.
trilogy was better than the holiday
All right. All
special.
right. Rogue One and The Mandalorian are better.
No, I think everything from Star Wars is better than the holiday special.
Uh, I mean, but like in all seriousness, like the only like Disney Star Wars movie that I would be willing to go back and watch would probably be Rogue One. Like I haven't even watched Solo. Never really will probably even try to. Maybe I'll go back and watch The Mandalorian, but I don't even feel but with all the new Lucasfilm Disney Plus shows, I don't even feel like interested to go and watch any of those as well.
I mean, Mandalorian, like I enjoy only because it's by far the best thing that they've done
Oh, no
with
doubt.
with the property. And I mean, like it's not great. Like it's not even close to my favorite show. But like it's so nice to have like some decent new Star Wars content.
Yeah, it's
I've to be honest, I've not even bothered with the Mandalorian yet. Mostly because I'm not paying Disney to watch it.
That's
yeah.
fair. I mean, I
I'll
that I
find a different
understand.
I'll find a different way to watch it.
I mean that I understand like that stance, but it's just like I I'm desperate enough to like desperate is a good word. Like I'm desperate for uh new content to like watch and stuff like that because
well, I might have some good news for you. I think there's only one show, one Disney Plus show that Kathleen Kennedy only has her hands on, and it's the one that she leaked out herself to the public because I don't think she'll probably Disney's probably going to be reinstating her contract. I mean, if they do, that would be a fucking terrible move. Uh, because she's the one that ran Lucasfilms into the ground. Why would you want to keep her around? But Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are basically trying to take the helms from Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh
I don't
God,
blame them.
I hope that's true. I hope they're able to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Disney's been in a bit of a state of civil war over the Star Wars films because of Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh yeah.
And it's been like that basically since The Rise of Skywalker came out. Actually, before The Rise of Skywalker came out,
Basically,
it was
when The
bad.
Mandalorian came out.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know if it's worth watching, like if someone's not interested in Star Wars, but for like someone who's a Star Wars fan, like it is nice to have like some new content.
some new content that isn't shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'll watch it at some point whenever I can find a way to watch it without paying for Disney Plus, because good lord, I won't pay for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I won't pay for anything from Disney at all, no exceptions.
I use a person's account, a friend.
Yeah,
And
I was gonna say I refuse.
yeah, like he
Disney's
was.
just a terrible company all around.
Yeah, like he was like, so you gonna watch The Mandalorian? I'm like, maybe. He was like, oh, well, what if I give you my Disney Plus account? That increases the chances. And so I have his Disney Plus account. But yeah, no, it's it's really starving to find some like new Star Wars shows or like Star Wars movies that isn't made from like the early 2000s or the 70s and 80s that is good, that you actually enjoy watching it instead of just thanking God that it isn't quite shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, to give some greater context about how much I despise Disney and refuse to pay for anything from them. I don't know if you know this, Corey, but a Kingdom Hearts game released recently.
Oh yeah, memories.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
guess what? It's a fucking rhythm game, and you
yeah,
know how I feel about rhythm games.
yeah. You love
I'm
them.
also never going to buy that game
Yeah,
because it's giving. I know it's giving massive royalties to Disney.
yeah.
So, for anybody that doesn't know, I am a massive Kingdom Hearts fan. I've been since I was a very young child. Absolutely love it. Um, Kingdom Hearts 3 was kind of disappointing. But
I'll agree with you
I
on that
have
one.
I have hope for the future. And I don't know if I can continue, if they're gonna continue working with Disney, because fuck Disney and everything it stands for.
We should crowdfund like
The
we
fuck
should
Disney
well
society.
no, but we should crowdfund like just the general public should raise enough money to buy the property from Disney.
They're not gonna sell it. Even if we do raise enough money, they're not gonna sell it.
Well, let me finish. We crowdfund weapons to forcibly take over Disney. We
Hostile
hold,
takeover.
yeah, a hostile takeover, just like a military coup. We
Except the real coup,
yeah,
Yeah.
we
not the one that everybody calls a coup that happened back in February.
no,
An
a real
actual
coup
one.
where we like physically take over like the Disney offices and just start releasing like our own good Star Wars movies.
I mean, I know plenty of people that would love to do that.
I would. I'm not a great storyteller, but I know enough of the canon that I could, consult.
I want I want to create some new movies with Phil Collins as a composer.
Why Phil
Um,
Collins?
have you watched Tarzan?
No,
Yeah, I
I've
do.
seen Tarzan, but it's just
Yeah.
It
like,
was fucking great, man.
yeah,
Bro, he
That
didn't
was
have to
all Phil
go.
Collins.
for
Bro.
a 90s Disney movie, that was a fantastic score, or like fantastic like original song, but like, or songs plural.
Entire soundtrack.
Well, the entire, yeah, like I
He
said,
also did Brother Bear too, bro.
Oh yeah, that was another really well. I mean,
I've never
music was
seen that
good, but the
movie.
movie was fine. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't
Yeah.
great. The sequel was pretty awful.
Oh yeah.
But no, I mean, like, the soundtrack of Star Wars is like John Williams. We get John Williams back on the track.
John
No. Your
Williams with
idea.
Phil Collins.
No,
What
no.
could go wrong?
Brad, your idea was to take over all of Disney. So we
Yeah.
don't have to put Phil Collins in Star Wars. We just want more movies with Phil Collins doing the soundtracks. If we take
Yeah.
over
Oh,
Disney.
I was just talking like just forced like Star Wars in general. But yeah,
No.
no, you're right.
If we're doing this, we take over all of fucking Disney and we start making actually good things.
Yeah, bro.
We use Disney's billions of dollars to keep Phil Collins alive
Forever.
forever, because he's had some like massive health problems recently, but we just, like, whatever adrenochrome we need to give him or whatever, like, we just, we'll use some of the Disney's execs, like lizard people powers or whatever, to keep him alive.
Give him some Walt Disney blood.
Yeah.
Bro, you gotta make another strangers like me, bro. Come on, come on.
I think he wrote about, like, in his book. He wrote, like, in his autobiography, that he was on like massive amounts of cocaine, like, writing that soundtrack.
I believe it.
No, I don't doubt it.
Between like him during doing that soundtrack, and Fleetwood Mac releasing Dreams while just like gacked to the gills, I'm thinking like that's the key. Like, cocaine is the key to like creating like just bangers, like all-time classics. Is just do as much cocaine as possible.
I mean, that's the goal. That's how you get anything done, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Corey, this is, you were laughing at me. Ooh, I'm black pilled, stuff like that. But I'm just trying to create art.
3D printed art.
Yeah. I was me and Corey went to get gas at the same time yesterday, like leaving your house, and so we parked next to each other at the 7-Eleven, and I was just telling Corey about, like, what it's going to be like to be my roommate. And I was just like, I was telling him how, at he's gonna I'm gonna barge into his room at like 2 a.m, just butt naked, with like obvious, like, something powdered, yeah, like powder in my mustache, just carrying like seven like AR-15s, and just like start like shooting like raccoons in the middle of the street, because I think they're government drones and stuff like that. And then he's just like, dude, I gotta work tomorrow. And I'm like, they're if you don't help me, you won't be going to work anytime soon.
If you don't help me, there will be no tomorrow. Give me 2 of those then, B.
Yeah.
I'm a ride or die.
Yeah. That's why I love him.
Wow. So, Corey, there is something about Star Wars we can talk about that we haven't talked about yet.
Okay.
Fallen Order.
Can't wait for the sequel.
Yeah. Good game.
If we're
that ending, too. Oh,
yeah.
boy.
If we're talking about the best thing that Star Wars has put out ever since Disney acquired it, is Fallen Order.
Oh, yeah. Fallen Order is fucking fantastic.
Very buggy, but god damn it, I love it.
Oh yeah, it has some issues, but it is damn good. Damn good.
Yeah. It it actually makes the Empire feel like, powerful
Yeah,
throughout the whole campaign. Like
yeah,
the fight with Talia took me a few tries. The fucking sixth sister or whatever, the big bitch.
big bitch. Yeah,
The big bitch took like they were both very powerful characters that you kind of had to struggle to overcome.
yep,
And I just liked Cal Kestis as a main character. I'm glad that they're bringing some sisters back into the fold with Marin.
yep, yep.
The Jedi that fell to the dark side after Order 66 as well.
Mhm. No, I absolutely loved the expansion of the lore with
Yeah.
Fallen Order. Um, especially whenever you compare it to some of the other Star Wars games that have come out recently. The Battlefield games.
Battlefront
Remember the
2.
original Battlefield games?
Yeah, the original Battlefront games were pretty
Yeah,
good.
Battlefront. Sorry, been
Yeah.
such a long time since I
Well,
played
I
a real
mean,
Battlefront game.
the people that make Battlefield also make the Battlefront games.
Yeah, the most recent ones have been absolute garbage.
I mean, after after 2 years of two being shit, it's actually relatively good now.
So you've said.
Yeah.
Still, I even have it. I got it for free. I'm still have yet to load it up even once.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Fallen Order. Um, yeah, pretty good, especially for me, somebody that likes Souls likes. Because it is quite Souls like
Mhm.
indeed. Very, very similar.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
which is one of the reasons I was kind of surprised you liked it, because I know you don't do Souls games,
Um,
even though you should, because they're the most rewarding kind of games you can play.
I should. I definitely should. It's just I don't know. Uh, I don't know. Like I have Bloodborne. Like if like any of the Souls games like is free on PlayStation Plus, obviously I'm gonna get it. But no, I think one of I remember I was talking like you told me that it was a Souls like game and all, because I was gonna go through it blind and I'm like, wait, what?
Yep.
And I was like, oh, um, well, this is gonna be interesting. And it was basically my first Souls like game, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And uh, it was a very good game, and the ending was uh just fantastic.
Oh yeah. Brad, do you know anything about Fallen Order?
I've seen some gameplay. I played it. I played like probably 5 or so hours, but I played
Hmm.
it like when it came out,
Hmm.
and I didn't really enjoy it that much. I probably need to like pick it up again. Like I've seen like I've seen videos on like what happens in the game. Like I know the ending,
Vader
but like
showing up.
I haven't played the game itself, which I probably should. I should probably
Yeah.
try it again.
Vader showing up, and then the current objective just turns to survive. Um,
Yeah.
like
That's 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 the best video game trope. Is just like a prequel or something like that, like Halo Reach, like the final mission just being survive.
Hmm.
Love it.
mhm,
Yeah.
like
No,
uh
like it's so well done with Vader too,
like
because
that
it's just survive. Just that's your only goal, because holy fuck, it's Darth Vader, and he is so much more powerful than you. Because at this point, you know, you've become, super powerful, great, and you've overcome the fight, your adversary, and you come across Darth Vader and you're completely powerless, and it really,
You thought she was the BBEG?
yeah, it really goes to show just how absolutely powerful he is, and it's just like, oh my god, what do I do?
One of the things that I also enjoyed about that scene is the dialogue between Cal and Vader beforehand, uh, which is you like it'd be wise to surrender, and you can hear like the fear in Cal's voice when he goes and says probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really well done. Very impressed with that game. Um, yeah, just can't wait for more.
Respawn is a good studio. Support their games.
Is this an ad for Respawn now?
Sure, why not? Titanfall 2 is good. Fallen
Yeah,
Order is
yeah,
good.
yeah. No, Titanfall 2 is fucking great. Not gonna lie.
However, the best Star Wars video game of all time, Battlefront 2.
Rogue
I th-
Squadron.
Lego Star Wars, the complete
Uh,
Rogue
edition.
Squadron. Rogue
KOTOR.
Squadron.
KOTOR
Lego.
1. That's one of those games where it's like I need to see if like someone's got to have done a mod like that like cleans up the game, cuz like I played it fairly recently. I played it like a couple of years ago,
Hmm.
and I mean the story holds up obviously,
Yes.
but nothing else about the game does.
I mean,
No.
I have both KOTOR 1 and 2 on my computer.
I've got the original KOTOR on my iPad
Hmm.
because that was a thing, which is really nice actually.
I got it for Xbox 360.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean like that the story itself is fantastic, but like the animations suck. Like
Yeah.
compared to a game now, I'm sure it was I hadn't played it when it came out.
It was pretty good whenever it came out.
Yeah.
Wasn't great, but it was
Fairly
it was
average.
it was average. Which for a game that size and that ambitious is good. You know, it's you don't usually get average with those kind of big games. You usually get below average.
Well, that was
Yeah.
back when because it was a BioWare game. That was back when BioWare was actually a
A good studio.
good studio. Yeah.
Way back in the day.
Yeah. I think technically BioWare's last like good game would probably be Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 3 was kind of average.
I never played any of the Mass Effect games, so I can't really comment on it.
I played a little bit of Mass Effect 1, and then I played all of 2 and 3, and I like them. Uh,
I
I would say 2 is better though.
I tried getting in like I tried to play through those games, and it's just one of those things like I'd rather just watch like a video or something on YouTube of someone like explaining what happens in the game, because like at this point it's too far back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like it's a first person shooter. It's a
third
game
person.
third person. Sorry, it's a third person shooter from whenever it was made, like 2004 or whatever. Like I'm sure the story's
Uh,
great, but
Mass
I just
Effect
can't get into
1,
it.
I believe, came out in 2007. Mass Effect 2, 2011, or maybe 2010, and
Well, I
then
mean,
Mass Effect 3, 2013.
but the thing with BioWare is they've always been like uh graphically at least like behind the competition. But I'd argue their last good game was, or last decent game was, Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh yes, I forget about the Dragon Age.
Inquisition was pretty good.
Yeah. I
But
forgot
since
about
then, since that came out, it's been like, I think that the only other thing that they've come out with is Mass Effect and Andromeda,
Which was bad.
it.
no one liked.
Also, you're forgetting Anthem.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Anthem, which was supposed to be the game that's supposed to save their company, is now actively destroying it. Did you actually guys hear about the controversy of BioWare recently?
No.
No.
All right, so they're releasing the like Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 as a like a collection.
Mhm.
And in 2 there's some specific scenes for a character named Miranda, who's the hot chick who is like her father made like cybernetically enhanced her looks to look like the hottest person alive.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
And there's some scenes that show off her ass. They are getting rid of those scenes.
Boo.
Yeah, and
Boo
it's just
those
like
French Canadian.
because it's harmful to the females. It's harmful.
Self-esteem.
Yeah, basically.
Just make
It,
her fat
like
in the remake.
yeah, I know, right? And I'm just like, I mean, like, oh, it's obviously fan service. Don't get me wrong, but it it's supposed to add her to that character, which is she's supposed to look like the hottest thing alive, because that's what her father wanted for her, even though she didn't really want it herself. But yeah, and so that's causing an uproar with fans, and then you also got and with the whole Smash thing, with all the SJWs being mad about the new Smash characters having boobs.
Who?
The Pyrrha and Mithra, they're two new Smash characters that are coming to Smash,
Okay.
and they're females, and they accentuate their bodies, and people are getting mad because their boobs are too big.
Okay. Well, the funny thing about Mass Effect is like, wasn't the whole point of the game just to have sex with as many of your crewmates as possible?
To a degree, yes, that is an option, but it's more
Smash.
yeah, it's more so about trying to save the universe from the Reapers. But yes,
while
that is
having sex with your crewmates.
while having sex with your crewmates. Yes.
In the middle of saving the universe, you're just sitting there banging one of them.
Yep.
So it's a lot like D&D.
Yeah. Hey.
But wow, BioWare couldn't have figured out that, hey, this might lead to some controversy. Your video game was famous for like sex scenes and shit like that. Oh, we're gonna remove the hottest one.
Basically, it like it's obviously fan service, but like nobody had like there was no backlash for that scene like 10 years ago, or like what like however long like it came out until now. Now everybody's just like why'd you take it out? And it's obviously because of the people that basically made Andromeda, which is uh yeah. Yeah, there was so much hope for Andromeda, and goddamn, such a massive letdown. Like I could buy that game for like $5, and I probably still wouldn't buy it.
Anyway, let's get back on the Star Wars track. And I want to do something. Remember how we did the Pokemon thing, where we talked about each generation and how we rated it?
Yeah.
Let's talk about each film and give it a rating.
Okay.
Personally or as a group?
Personally, and then we'll take the aggregate.
Okay.
And then we can argue as we see fit to try to change people's opinions. So We'll start chronological of like in universe.
Okay.
Episode 1, Phantom Menace. I think it's the weakest of the original trilogy.
The original trilogy. What?
I think it's the weakest of the prequel trilogy.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, I still call it episode 1.
Yeah.
Like it. I don't know.
Well,
Anyway,
the reason why we call it episode 1 is because we grew up as it was probably subjected to us as our first one that we remember.
it's my original trilogy.
Yeah. But prequel trilogy, yeah. Yeah, I would also probably agree. I think my opinion has changed throughout this podcast.
Yeah, I think it's the weakest um because it it sets up the conflict, but it doesn't. It's not particularly interesting. The Gungans are a waste of time.
Yeah.
They really are. I know people uh like Jar Jar. I mean he's a weird character,
Supposedly he
but
was supposed to become a Sith Lord.
That's just an online theory.
I
yeah,
know.
I like
Like
that theory
George,
though.
it's a
Yeah, I
very
like
good
that theory.
theory. But like George Lucas has never come out and said like, oh yeah, he was supposed to be the original BBG.
That would have been great though if he just ran with it. Yeah, sure.
Talk about a
Yeah,
reveal.
Yeah.
yeah. If people hated him so much, we just didn't go with it. And just like, man, that would have been something.
I guess the,
Um,
the the actor that plays Jar Jar is now like crazy.
I
not
don't
a
know.
surprise.
He's like a filmmaker and he like all his favorite thing to do is like go on Twitter and go like, um as a black filmmaker, like, I'm not taken seriously. And it's like, I hate to say it, like the reason you're not taken seriously is you were Jar Jar. Has nothing to do with has nothing to do with anything else. It's just that, sorry, bad luck, you were Jar Jar. Anyway,
Yeah. Um, there weren't that many interesting fights either. I mean, outside of
Maul
Darth Maul.
versus yeah.
Yeah, but like the none of the other battles are particularly good.
Yeah.
Um,
The first like major battle, which is when they basically escaped the Trade Federation ship, they didn't even really fight. They just kind of ran.
yeah, they just defended,
Yeah.
defended and left.
Hmm.
Um, so
They did show an interesting power that was never used again though.
which
The
was
basically they just fucking like they sped up through the fucking hallways. Like once they escaped the blast door and they saw the droids and they just kind of like we're just gonna go this way.
I was gonna say I don't even remember that.
Yeah, no, basically they just became blurs and like fucking flew down a hallway. It was basically they gained super speed and they never used it again.
Corey got a bootleg copy, thinks it's canon.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It's one of those things like, oh, the sound cut out, like they the Jedi got rid of all the sound in the room, and it's like, no, that was someone trying to avoid like a piracy flag.
Um, overall, I think I'd give the Phantom Menace probably a 6 out of 10. It set up some important things, but I mean, it wasn't a bad looking film. It had pod racing. That was really fucking cool. Created one of the best games of the N64, without a doubt.
I never had one, so.
Dude, the N64 Episode 1 Pod Racer was like so much fun, dude.
But yeah, I'd go, like, for me personally, I'd give it like a I
All right, all right. So I just rewatched the scene as you guys
Mm-hmm.
were talking about pod racing. It is actually real. They're facing droidicas while they're trying to cut through a blast door. The droidicas obviously put up their force field and they couldn't really fight them, and so they used this they power called force speed and sped away.
need to rewatch that movie.
You know what? I'll just send you the link.
Just you know what? Just for that, the fact that force speed was canon, uh, I'm giving it I'm giving it a 5.
Corey.
I was gonna give it like a 6.5, something like that, but no, it's a 5 now.
Um, I'll give it a nice solid 4.
Okay, that leaves us with an average of 5 out of 10. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Um, this one gets ragged on a lot because of bad acting, which is fair. But it also sets up a lot of really important story points, um, and provides a lot of context to a lot of the stuff that is to come later. Um, and honestly, comparatively, compared to some of the other things I've seen in my life, the acting's actually not the worst. I think
Yeah.
it's honestly most of it's average. There's some badly delivered lines. Let's be real.
It could
Most
be
of it's fine though.
it could be
Honestly, I'm gonna give Attack of the Clones an 8. I actually enjoy it. I think it's an important part of the series.
I'm with you there. And I mean the thing too, it's like when people go like, oh, the acting in specifically Attack of the Clones is bad. It's like Star Wars has never won, no one's ever won like a best actor like Grammy for
it
or
is
not
called
Grammy.
a space opera for a reason.
Yeah, no one's
Yeah.
ever no one's ever gotten gotten a whatever you call it nomination for being the best actor in a Star Wars movie. So it's like don't pretend like, the original trilogy wasn't, didn't have some dog shit dialogue moments and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
It's just like unfortunately George Lucas, for as creative as he is when it comes to like, universe building and stuff like that, he can't write dialogue for shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna have to
that's
agree
fair.
with you on that one.
Yeah. Um but yeah, I think that overall for me it was an 8. I actually really like Attack of the Clones. Um I think it had some really cool scenes. For example, the chase through the city over the bounty hunter. I really like that scene. Really gives a view of Coruscant that we've never seen before, and we've not seen since. Um, I think the um, the asteroid field scene between the Boba Fett, Jango Fett, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I absolutely love that scene so much. Um, all of the stuff that happens on Geonosis is honestly pretty interesting. You get great character development scenes, like the slaughter of the Tusken Raiders and Anakin revealing his hatred and his feelings. Um, I actually really like the movie. I'm giving it an 8.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. And you know what, you know what you should make your alert sound, Corey?
What?
The like when Django Fett's like uh whatever
The
bomb thing.
bombs.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
bombs.
those bombs. That sound. Whenever I was a kid, I fucking love that sound because that is such a cool effect.
Well, it's probably it
It's bone
legitimately
chilling.
it's legitimately probably my favorite piece like ever of like sound design in a movie.
Yeah.
Like that's one of those things like I don't even think like if you saw the movie as like a kid and then just never watched it again, if I were to play someone that sound, they would probably know like what it came from, just because
Mm-hmm.
like it's not like anything else.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, Brad, what's your opinion on Attack of the Clones?
Well, you know what? Because one of the things I saw Phantom Menace, right? And then while I was waiting for my first Star Wars movie was Phantom Menace, and it wasn't, I was young enough that like that didn't like destroy my love for the movies or whatever. But like while I was watching or after I watched the Phantom Menace, my mom introduced me to the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I remember as a kid even being excited for was there's that scene in A New Hope when Luke's talking to Ben Kenobi for the first time, and Ben's talking about like, or Luke asks, Ben, "Oh, you fought in the Clone Wars," and it's like, "Holy shit! What are the Clone Wars? I want to know. I want to know all about that." Like, that's what I'm thinking as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's the payoff right there.
Yeah.
Like that movie is the payoff. Like, what are the Clone Wars? Well, sit down, let me tell you a story, son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, with the Clone Wars, we have Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and then we have the entire Clone Wars animated series, which I still need to sit down and watch the entirety of. I have watched through most of season one at this point. It's just one of those things that I'll start it, I'll get partway through it, and then something else comes up.
That's another one of those things. Like, I'm not a massive fan of it. Like,
So,
I like the lore and stuff like that. It's just
mhm.
it's too. I don't know.
So what everybody says is the Clone Wars is fine until the end of season 3. Then at season 4, it just gets turned up to 11 and it becomes fucking fantastic.
Because that's when Maul gets reintroduced back into the series.
Well, I'm
Uh,
just like I understand like the story is good because like enough people have been like, oh, I'm a massive fan of like the TV series, but like it's just too like sort of childish for me to really like get into.
It's got some really adult themes in it as it goes
what
on.
one of my favorite characters in the newer Clone Wars series is the pirate. The pirate's great because like when he's facing off against Maul, he's just like, "We're pirates. We don't even know what that means."
Maybe
So
I need to
what
give it another chance.
I was gonna say, like, I have a feeling that once I get past the first couple seasons, I'm gonna fall in love with it, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I do want to watch it, is because I've heard such absolutely glowing reviews of it starting in season 4.
Like the whole Mandalore saga with Obi-Wan and his bay,
Yeah.
facing off against
Satine.
Maul. Yeah,
Hmm.
Satine.
Yeah. Anyway, Brad, what would you rate this? What would you rate Attack of the Clones?
I'd give it an 8. Like
Okay.
the whole the the entire sequence when they basically corner Count Dooku, like
Hmm.
is that's my second favorite duel in the whole series
What's your first?
is uh the final duel on Geonosis. Anakin and Obi-Wan
You mean on Mustafar?
on Mustafar, sorry.
Okay, yeah. No, that I think that's also my favorite.
Well, yeah, that should be everybody's favorite.
Hmm.
Well, it's just so like I that's one of those things like I rewatched Revenge of the Sith like 3 weeks ago,
Hmm.
and like I've probably seen that duel easily 50 times now, but like you watch it and it's like ridiculous, the choreography, and then
Oh
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
not sped up at all. That's literally just those two went to a like you know hung out in a room and just like hit each other with lightsabers for like 6 weeks to prepare for that, and
Hmm.
it's like god damn is it gorgeous.
It's also
It is.
like like over 30 minutes long. It's like one of the longest duels in cinema history as well.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the best in not just in Star Wars but in cinema.
Every
Um,
like one of the things that I I don't know why it gets criticized for is it looks more like ballerina dancing. But like compared to what we got in like the new trilogy, it's just on a whole nother fucking level because these guys actually act like they're fencing and not swinging baseball bats around.
Well, the
the
thing.
the one thing I did like about the new trilogy was that there was passion in in those duels. It didn't seem as choreographed. It, like, for example, Ray. We're gonna put aside the Mary Sue-ness. Ray is new. She's learning how to use a lightsaber, so she's not really coordinated. And then you have Ben Solo, who is just so full of hate and doesn't have a real good traditional teaching. So he's a little bit sloppy, and that comes across pretty well. And you get this very passionate, very heavy-handed kind of lightsaber dueling. I actually enjoyed that in The Force Awakens.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't a like I any lightsaber duel I enjoy. Even like the OT, even in the original trilogy, like those duels I love. But like the thing with like Obi-Wan and Anakin, like people do say a lot, like, oh, that's it's more dance than actual fighting. But it's like, no, that's what the Jedi are supposed, like, the whole point of the Force is like, and lightsaber dueling, at least in canon, is basically like you're able to anticipate your opponent's next 50 moves, you know.
Yep.
So it's just like that's that force power, like, taken, like, and put on it on the silver screen perfectly, is just like how ridiculously, like, fast and fluid and just impressive that like is, like,
Yeah.
that duel is like, that's, like, that's the reason why, if you were just an order, Joe Schmo, you wouldn't want to run into a Jedi, is because, like, you've no hope of beating them.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um. So Corey, what would you give Attack of the Clones?
Uh, I give it a nice 7 out of 10.
Okay, that's gonna leave us with a 7.6 aggregate. I think that's fitting. I mean, it's not the greatest film in the series, but I think it's a lot better than what people give it credit for. Because people call that like a 4 out of 10.
Well, those
Like
people suck.
Are wrong.
Yeah.
the battle between Anakin and Dooku, like just Anakin by himself after Obi-Wan gets knocked out,
Hmm.
was pretty great. Just how basically it was kind of like what Vader did to Luke in episode 5 as well, where it was Dooku was basically just toying with with Anakin at that time.
Yeah. Next one, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Of
I'm
the
gonna have to
Star
agree with
Wars
that.
of the
I'm
Star
gonna have
Wars
to agree with that.
movies, of the Star Wars movies, that is the 10 out of 10. I mean, it literally opens with a 25-minute space battle that I have, like, I remember watching, cuz I saw that in theaters the day it
Yep.
opened as part of,
Yep.
like, a
Yeah.
birthday party. And I mean, I was on the edge of my seat during that entire battle. Like, it was the single most amazing thing I'd ever seen like on a movie screen.
It
Yeah.
is
No, it's incredibly intense and it's incredibly well done.
it is definitely where the fun begins.
Yes. Yes, it is. And
uh,
let's not also forget that the rest of that film is full of incredibly important character development, very important foreshadowing, and cause and effect,
Mhm.
and not just random bullshit go. Just it's phenomenally well done. Um, Absolutely love Revenge of the Sith, without a doubt. It's great. It is absolutely great. I also give it a 10 out of 10. The So my favorite two lightsaber duels are in this one. Obviously between Anakin and Obi-Wan, that's number one. My second favorite of the entire series is Anakin versus Dooku.
Yes.
Uh, in front of Palpatine.
Where
That is my second favorite of all time.
where Anakin learns from his mistakes that he made last time.
Yep. And then decapitates
Do
Dooku.
it.
Oh,
Do
talk
it.
about another amazing moment of sound design when he like drags the lightsaber blades across each other
Oh
to
yeah, that
decapitate him.
yeah, that crackling
Mhm.
Yes.
and that hissing is just
Yes.
like, oh, again, it's, you get that, just thinking about it, I get that tingle in my spine. It's just like that. It's fucking fantastic.
But no, I mean, like, yeah, that moment, like that duel, fantastic. The end duel is ridiculous. I mean, it's just, well, I think that's the movie with the most like actual, honest to god, like lightsaber time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
without a
you
doubt.
get
Because you also have Palpatine and Yoda.
You
and
have Palpatine and
also
Yoda, and then you
Grievous
also
and Obi-Wan.
Grievous and
Hmm.
Obi-Wan, Grievous
Which,
and
not to mention, that is another fantastic duel. Top 5.
Yep.
uh,
Obi-Wan versus Grievous is one of the most interesting fights in the series.
Mhm.
when that moment when he like uh uh what separates his arms and
Yeah.
pulls out
Yeah.
four lightsabers and then just starts like slowly backing him down while spinning them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean you've got it because in that movie, like literally, you've got Dooku, Anakin, and Obi Wan, Grievous, Obi Wan. Um, you've got Obi Wan and Anakin versus the Magna droids on the bridge.
Yep.
Um, you've got Yoda, Palpatine,
Windu.
Windu, and the
Hmm.
other three.
Yep.
You've got Yoda and Obi Wan versus all the clones. I
Yep.
mean, it's just like that. It's got the most lightsaber, and that's what
You
people are
forget
there for. That's what the
you're
Star Wars fans are there for.
you
And
forget
not to
one.
mention that it has all of that along with a very good story.
You also
Fantastic.
you're also
I
forgetting
mean,
one important scene. Anakin versus the younglings.
yeah, that scene. But no, I mean, like it's got trash dialogue again, but
I again, I don't think the dialogue's that bad.
well,
It was
for
definitely an
Star Wars, it's
improvement.
not that bad. But like it just in general, it's bad dialogue.
I
But it
mean,
is
there are
way
obviously
better.
yeah, there are obviously some bad parts to it,
One
but overall, I think it's more than passable.
But I think
one
I do think Revenge of the Sith is the best acted Star Wars movie in of any of them. I think it's the best acted one.
one of the things that you also have to put in context with that is most of the bad dialogue probably comes with Anakin trying to express his emotions. And with us like guys, we have an awful and awkward time trying to express our emotions.
I'd say I mm, uh, except for with the notable exception of his speech as Anakin's dying, I'd say Obi-Wan has the cringiest lines
Yeah, but he's
in the
also the
entire
funniest.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's also the funniest.
Oh,
So
for sure.
he gets an easy pass for me.
For
I
sure, but
mean,
I mean, like some of the more
But
serious lines, I'm saying, are
yeah.
like kind of cringy.
I mean, you know the story about whenever he tries to tell Padme about
The
seeing Anakin
younglings,
killing younglings,
and
he's
he couldn't
covering his
stop
mouth because
laughing.
he can't stop from laughing.
yeah,
But
Chad McGregor.
yeah, well, talk about one series that I think I am gonna have to like. I have my family's Disney Plus account. One of the series I actually am excited for is the Obi-Wan one.
Yes.
I think that is the only one that I'll probably actively go out of my way to watch.
Um,
Because if nothing else, just because Ewan McGregor just was a fantastic choice as Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the other thing too, I think the probably the best performance of the movie is shit, I'm forgetting his name. Palpatine.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Ian McDermott.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Ian
Yes.
McDermott. Like that's his. It's his movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, without a doubt.
The
Yeah.
Darth Plagueis
Ian
the
McDermott. Yeah.
yeah, the theater scene, the opera scene, fucking
Yes.
fantastic.
Because I mean, it's literally you're watching him. You're watching him basically like brag about killing his master, like to a Jedi, and you can see like he's enjoying telling that story. Like he's just straight up bragging to Anakin, like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
look, I was able to kill Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, without a doubt, that's absolutely, that is definitely, like, that movie is basically telling the story of Palpatine and Anakin. That is what
Yeah.
that movie is for.
And
And I think it's a 10 out of 10. Everything
mean,
about it is great.
I
Honestly.
watched it like the other week. I'm 24 years old, and I couldn't stop from like tearing up watching like all the Order 66 stuff happen. Like when uh like when what's his name? The Syrian dude with the tall head.
I know Plo Koon?
No,
No, that's
no,
not Plo
not
Koon.
Plo Koon.
Um,
Kiai Mundi.
yeah.
yeah.
When he turns around in like disbelief because his like clone troopers are pointing weapons at him. It's just like, oh God,
No!
no,
Like
they can't do this.
supposedly in the last season of the Clone Wars, they do Order 66. And supposedly it's really great, especially with Captain Rex actually actively disobeying and trying to help Ahsoka Tano
Mm-hmm.
escape. Like he's actively pleading to the other clone troopers that she's not a Jedi anymore. That this doesn't feel right, and the
Yeah.
other clone troopers just not giving a fuck.
No, I mean like that the Order 66 scenes like actively like make me want to cry. Like and like when Yoda drops his little like his
His
little
walking stick.
cane,
Yeah.
like oh man, did I feel that. Like I was crying in theaters while it was happening.
Oh, I
It's like
know.
you grow up like idolizing the Jedi and stuff like that, and then you're just like I was like whatever I was like 10 or 11. I was in third grade. I was a third grader watching all my heroes die. Like oh my God.
Yeah. It is a very dark movie, and I think that was the first Star Wars film to actually go up to PG-13 as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Order 66
All right,
is brutal.
it was PG-13. Where do you put the fuck?
Uh,
The one F
Oh,
bomb you're allowed to drop. Where do you put it?
when Mace Windu is getting thrown out the window.
uh,
I think another good one is after Palpatine says "do it," just have Christopher Lee look up at Anakin and just go, "Fuck."
I was gonna say when Grievous starts spinning those blades back on Obi-Wan, just have Obi-Wan go, "Oh fuck." uh, I'm sensing a missed opportunity.
No, do you know what would be even better? You remember the "so uncivilized" with the gun?
Yeah.
Just change that to "get fucked."
Yeah. Oh no no
Uh,
no! It should have been the little kid when Anakin annexed his lightsaber.
Oh my god.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do? He ignites the blade. Fuck.
oh, oh my god. There's so many great places to put that line.
They should have just made it R.
Oh, trust me, if I could, I would remake them all, but with new dialogue. Just make it rated R.
Anyway, sorry, that was a bad tangent.
Palpatine is a dangerous fuck. We have to kill him.
When Kid Anakin blows up the Trade Federation ship, fucking Christ, Anakin, what the fuck?
Oh, that would be fucking great.
Ugh.
Anything else we want to talk about with Revenge of the Sith before Corey finally gives his opinion?
The score, fucking fantastic.
Yeah, that's true. 10 out of 10 for you, Corey, or is it a 9 out of 10?
10 out of 10.
Okay. So that's a unanimous 10 out of 10. Fucking phenomenal movie. Absolutely phenomenal. I love it.
So many memes.
Yeah, no, they're really it really is filled with memes.
The prequel
By the way, if
trilogy.
you've never seen it, our prequel memes, best subreddit ever.
The prequel trilogy? I think you mean the meme trilogy.
Well, our prequel memes is the subreddit.
I know.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 for that one. I think it deserves it. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 4, A New Hope. Honestly, damn good. Fucking great, honestly. I think I'd give this a 10 out of 10 as well. I think it's everything it needed to be to start Star Wars off on the right foot. It had the right amount of action, the right amount of dialogue. The dialogue was actually pretty good. It set up all of the necessary themes and ideas for the rest of the series, and it did a great job capturing its audience and wanting more.
I'd give it a 10 out of 10 because like it's one of those things like on a rewatch, you realize like just how much was set up. Like literally just in like the 3-minute scene, the 3-minute scene of Luke meeting Ben Kenobi. Like one of my absolute all-time favorite YouTube videos is called Obi-Wan Has PTSD.
Okay.
And it's like it's clips spliced into like as he's going, oh, I fought with your father. It's like clips. You know what? Let me find it. I'm gonna send it to you guys. It's like it's legitimately like a sad video.
No, I don't doubt it. Yeah, like when Obi-Wan takes that pause, realizing that he like when Luke asks who's Obi-Wan Kenobi, he he go like basically relives his events like in a split second as he takes a moment of hesitation to say, "Oh, I know him. He's me."
Yeah. No, it's it's a great introduction to Obi-Wan, and who Obi-Wan was and what it means to be a Jedi. It does a great job setting up who Luke is and what he wants and hopes for and what he believes to be true. It does a great job setting up Han. It does a really good job of setting up Leia as somebody that was just, in the wrong place at the wrong time, but she can take care of herself.
Yes.
She's not just some hopeless princess. She's actually very, very capable.
Yes. one of the first strong female characters.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, my favorite little Easter egg is in Revenge of the Sith. I know I'm jumping ahead, but is Spot Leia's coke nail.
Spotlight's
What?
cooknail.
Spot Leia's coke nail.
What?
Do you guys know what a coke nail is?
Yes, I do, but I've never seen that.
Okay, well, there's a scene where she puts her hand on Han's shoulder, and she has a very visible coke nail, because it's about 3 inches longer than every other nail on her finger. So that's my favorite little side quest when it comes to watching the prequel trilogy, is like what is looking and seeing if there are any other times I can see Leia's coke nail. But anyway, sorry.
There was also the funny scene of the stormtrooper hitting his head off the door.
Which made it canon that that's the reason that they shoot so poorly. Is
Yeah.
they just can't see out of the helmet.
Yeah.
I was just say, I remember seeing that for the first time. And it was just like, oh my god, it's true. He really did hit his head.
And like in the re-releases, George Lucas added a little sound effect to it as well.
A little bonk.
Yeah.
But yeah, next time you watch the movies, watch out for the coke nail.
I'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be the next oh my god, it's true.
I mean, I believe it.
No,
I
I
mean,
don't doubt it.
this was the late 70s, early 80s.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Drugs were a thing.
Yeah.
And however many years after that, 40 years after that, she then died of a cocaine overdose. Which I shouldn't be laughing, but
Is that really what she died from?
I think so.
I don't.
I mean, I might be misremembering something.
Hold on. But I mean, like the
That might have been some fake news I saw.
Because I know she died. I just didn't know that was what caused it.
It might have been like complications from years of drug use, as opposed to like that's what she died of.
I believe that.
Supposedly, it was a cardiac arrest.
Which drugs would definitely play a part of that.
Yeah.
Well, especially cocaine.
Yeah.
June 19th, 2017 stated that Fisher had cocaine in her system as well as traces of heroin and other opiates and MDMA. The report also stated the investigation was unable to determine when she'd taken the drugs and whether they contributed to her death.
Well, I'm going to assume that if you have that many drugs in your system, they probably did something.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, what do I know?
I think I just saw that she had like cocaine in her system and was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, she was a big time film star back in the late 70s, early 80s. Drugs were rampant in Hollywood then. That makes sense.
All that to say, R.I.P. Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
I think she might have been my first.
You're just gonna leave it off of that? Okay.
Yep.
All right. But yeah, no.
The real ones know what I mean.
I
first
know it.
FAP.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. If you didn't say love, I knew what you meant. But yeah, no, it was the New Hope was a really good movie. It was it also, if it was the only Star Wars film ever made, it also would have ended off on a really good note that the heroes won. The big giant space cannon has been destroyed and Darth Vader is lost at space.
Well, I mean, talk again when it comes to like setups, talk about like the perfect like way to go, like, okay, these are like the most evil movie this is the most evil movie faction of all time, and that's like watch them literally blow up an entire planet.
Yeah. And then Obi-Wan's reaction just right after.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
But to be fair, the Empire did nothing wrong.
Enough
They-
of that. I mean, like, that is one of those things. That's my favorite YouTube rabbit hole. One of my favorite YouTube rabbit holes to go down is, the video essays that people put out on YouTube. They're like, the Empire was the good guys because in a galaxy that big, it's a struggle to keep order. So you know, kudos to them for at least trying. Like that's my favorite like YouTube thing to go down is just people like defending, you know, uh, essentially a
Space
space
Nazis.
holocaust. Yeah,
Yeah.
space holocaust.
I mean, I don't really think well, if you count the Jedis as a race, then I guess it was a Holocaust.
But the thing is that the Jedi's aren't a race. They're more of a religion.
Yeah.
So you're literally just killing off a religion at
Well,
that point.
still a holocaust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're not a race.
Yeah.
They're many races.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, no, I mean, it's just anyway. Yeah, the Jedi, R.I.P. to the Jedi. They kind of suck too, like grand scheme of things, but
Yeah.
better than the alternative, I guess.
I mean, I was always more of a edge lord kind of guy, the gray Jedi. The Force
Mm-hmm.
is the Force type thing.
Yep.
Fuck them.
Why?
Why? I'll tell you why. Cause pick a team.
They are picking a team. They're picking
No,
the
they aren't.
Force. They're picking
Boo.
the Force.
Boo.
You can't have the
Boo.
light without the dark. You have.
Boo. Pick a team. Pick a team.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is black and white shit. Come on. Pick a team.
Is it though?
It's
Is it,
black and
though?
white.
I mean, Disney Star Wars was definitely black
Okay,
and
fine.
white.
I pick Sith.
Yeah. Fuck it.
I value personal freedoms over that of a commune.
That's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, pick a side.
I'd rather explore my desires than actively like push them away.
Okay, again, I'm like that's a fair answer. I'm just saying, like, Grey Jedi, boo, pick a side.
But I mean,
See, that's the thing though, is like the Grey Jedi are those that are willing to use both sides of the Force in order to be the best person that they can be, instead of actively shunning one of them.
I know.
Yeah.
'Cause, like-
I'm joking. Like
passion is good, but without temperance, it just leads to rampant destruction.
No, I am joking. Like my absolute favorite like Star Wars character of all time is Revan,
yeah.
Mm.
who basically like would just like flip flop between the two depending on what he needed to accomplish in the moment.
I think
Yeah.
technically Revan was the last Grey Jedi, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
No,
Qui-Gon Jinn.
No.
yeah,
Qui-Gon Jinn is confirmed Grey Jedi,
Oh, okay. All right.
which is why his opinion was valued so highly by the Jedi Council.
Hmm. Okay.
like he was essentially a Jedi outcast. Like he was still part of the Order, but like
He was an
barely.
outcast.
Yeah.
But
And
no, I mean I do think like the Grey Jedi are, I think, in the grand scheme of things, right. I was just joking around about pick a side because it's funny.
Like the Empire did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Dooku was right about the Jedi Order
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
I mean, so was Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were both right. Like Yoda has been in power so long that he's grown complacent, and he let the Sith grow right underneath his nose. It's basically what's happening. What's happening with the United States is we've gotten so complacent with our liberties that we're letting fascists grow right underneath our noses.
Fascists and communists.
Yep.
We
Remember
need a
what
purge.
remember what the great Thomas Jefferson said.
We already had this conversation weeks ago,
Yeah, I know, but it's such a great quote. The tree
but we're
of
talking
liberty.
about Star Wars. Brad, rate it. New Hope.
Yeah, I
I
think you
said 10
already
out of
did.
10.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Sorry, I must have missed that.
You're good.
10,
Corey,
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Okay, it is
Actually, you know
official.
what? 9 out of 9. I'm going 9 out of 9 because I don't think it's as good as Revenge of the Sith. I mean, that might just be like
9
me.
out of 9. That's still 100%.
Not 9 out of 9. You know what I mean? Or
9 out of 10.
9.9 out of 10. 9.9 out of 10 is what I meant.
Okay. Okay. Well, that gives us an aggregate score of 9.97.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Okay. I guess.
That adequately
That'll lead us on to the 5th movie, which was The Empire Strikes Back. We actually talked about this one quite a bit earlier.
yeah, we don't need to cover it again. Corey, score.
8 out of 10.
Brad?
I'd go 5 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 7.
The only thing that keeps me interested in that movie is just the twist. That's it. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 7. I mean, it's not a bad movie. There's just so much, it just feels like filler. I mean, it's one of those movies that there have been times where I want to rewatch Star Wars, but I only I don't have long enough to do it. I'll just skip the 5th movie. You really don't lose anything. You really don't. Because the only important information you need from the 5th movie is, oh yeah, Yoda exists and Darth Vader is Luke's father. That's it.
But the meaningless force vision in the cave or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really meaningless though.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
I mean, that gives us a 6.7 out of 10 for that one. Next movie, one we haven't talked about a lot, Return of the Jedi. Overall, it was a good movie, but I still think it's outdone by A New Hope.
Yeah.
I think A New Hope really is like the epitome of that generation of Star Wars. And I think that all the movies after it just kind of fell short in recapturing that feeling. I honestly couldn't explain why exactly.
The whole adventures to Yavin or to Endor, not Yavin, to Endor, felt a bit long. Like the beginning and the end of the Return of the Jedi are great, but the middle is middling.
Yeah, that is true. Um,
Like
Endor, I definitely does not help it.
yeah.
I mean, Ewoks are, uh,
Yeah.
they're Ewoks.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Overall, though, I think it's a strong ending to the franchise. Get some interesting lightsaber action in there towards the beginning and at the end. That fight between Luke and Vader. Oh boy.
It's definitely the best fight in the OT.
Yes. And it should be.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna give it. I think I'm gonna give it a 9. Because even with Endor, I still think that it's it's very good.
Yes. I mean, yeah. Like I also do love to see the Ewoks just fucking beat the absolute shit out of stormtroopers.
That is fun.
Yeah. Like but like overall the Ewoks are kind of bad. Like that's probably like the best thing is that they just beat the absolute shit out of the stormtroopers.
Hmm.
The Tatooine scene was really good. You know, Leia rescuing Han
Yep.
and the bat and fighting Jabba.
Yeah. The Rancor.
Hmm.
Hmm. The Sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
That scene's pretty fun. But
Um,
yeah, I'll give it a 9.
uh, I think I'm gonna give it an 8.
What about you, Brad?
Uh, I'll go 8. Like the one like I agree with you. Like the middle is pretty weak. The middle is pretty weak. Um, the opening gave us like one of the more famous like Star Wars creatures of all time in the Rancor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, but I mean, like again, like just it's like the I would go so far as to say it's the probably one of the best like trilogy ending movies
Yes. Like the ending of Return of the Jedi is probably one of the best in the series.
because like
Yes.
I like one of my absolute again like one of the scenes that I always think about when I think about Star Wars is like the celebration they like watch the after they've watched the Death Star blow up. And I
Hmm.
mean, like, yeah, the Ewoks kind of ruin the scene a little bit, but the um, like when everyone's just like sitting around and like cheering, Luke looks over, sees Yoda, sees Vader, sees Obi-Wan, like looking proud at looking like proud of him. It's just like, man, that's it right there. That's what Star Wars is all about.
Yeah. Also the scene of Vader redeeming himself by throwing down
Palpatine.
Palpatine.
Oh, very great. That's that whole sequence is just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that gives us an aggregate of an 8.3. And I think that's a good spot for it, honestly.
Yeah.
Now we're on to the controversial films.
Those aren't canon, so
Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Of
As I
course.
mentioned earlier, I saw this in theaters. Funny fact, I accidentally saw it on opening day.
Yes, you were telling me that. You told me this like after it released.
Yeah, so what it was is my wife and I we were out doing some stuff. I think we were seeing my family for something. Um and on our way home, we're like, "Hey, do you want to go see a movie? We've got time, we've got money," because it was right around Christmas time. And she's like, "Yeah, sure." And so I pulled up my phone and I was looking at what was in theaters, and it was like, "Oh, well, new Star Wars movie is out." And I didn't know it was opening day. I just saw that this new Star Wars film was out, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Want to go see that?" She's like, "Yeah, sure." And then we go, and then we find out it's opening day.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw it on opening day, and like I said before, um, like it's not the greatest film of the series, but at the time, I was just like I was pretty happy with it because it set up a lot of things that I hoped they would do something with.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, this might be the beginning of a um, really good trilogy. I was wrong, and I will admit to being wrong. Um, but it had a lot of good things going for it at the time.
We all had the blanket over our eyes.
I was just excited to see a lightsaber in theaters again.
So yeah, I was also compelled to I thought it could lead to something. Um you know I wanted something a little bit more original because it was basically like J.J. Abrams basically kind of admitted it was kind of a retread of A New Hope.
I mean, it was almost a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah. Um, I honestly, if I would have rated it at the time, I probably would have told you it was an 8 or 9 out of 10. Now, with hindsight of knowing that none of the cool things that they set up they actually do anything with, um, and now that we have the full series, I'm going to give it a 7 out of respect for what could have been.
What, you didn't like the mystery boxes?
Mm,
I would probably give it a 6.
I mean, it's I I'm gi- I'm going to give it an 8
okay,
only because that's what I thought it was when I saw it in theaters.
okay, and
I
that's
mean,
respectable.
it's one of those things like I enjoyed it watching it for the first time because I was hopeful for what the new trilogy was going to bring.
Yep,
Yeah.
and it had some
I'm
really cool scenes.
I'm not
Oh
going to
yeah.
watch it again.
I
Like
Uh
also agree.
I don't
yeah.
need to watch it again. However, it's still an 8 out of 10. Again, like one of those like Star Wars moments that you're like, "Oh my god," like I think about a lot is the death of Indiana Han Jones Solo.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Again,
It
It's
it's just one of
it
those.
that was I honestly believe that out of all of the things that the new trilogy did, I think that was the thing that they did, one of the best things that they did.
Agree 100%.
one of the best.
They that moment had real feeling and emotion to it.
Yes. I'm gonna say this now. One of the best things that the new trilogy did do was they cast Adam Driver in the right role. They
Yes,
they just didn't make they just didn't do well with the role because
correct.
Adam Driver is a great
Adam
actor.
Driver is the only reason to watch any of these films.
Yes, because he
He,
Kylo Ren's a shit character, but he makes it look decent.
yeah, yeah, no, that's without a doubt. I agree, 100% without a doubt. He really does bring life to the series.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. That's gonna leave us with an aggregate score of 7 out of 10.
I think that's fair. Like
I also think that's fair.
Mhm.
it was by far it was far and away the best one in that trilogy.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think we could all agree, and I think the fight between Rey and Kylo was probably the best lightsaber duel in that series as well, in that
Yes, I
movie.
also agree. Yep. Moving on to episode 8, The Last Jedi.
A whole Star Wars trilogy wrapped up in one, and it's not a really good trilogy.
So you know how I play devil's advocate a lot, Corey, Brad.
Mhm.
I like to argue for things that I might not necessarily believe. Um, as I was coming in to do this part, I was trying to come up with some redeeming qualities for The Last Jedi. That way
it
I could try to argue, because I know what your arguments are going to be.
it looks good.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only redeeming quality of the movie is just like the CGI was good.
The score's
Honestly,
okay.
though, the CGI was not that good. Like, it wasn't. It was fine. It wasn't mind blowing though.
Yeah.
So that's not really anything to write home about.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's legitimately just the best part of the movie is the CGI.
The best part of the movie was the music and the effects, and
Yeah.
that's not saying much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Were
yeah,
you able to
like
come up with an honest to god like defense?
no, honestly, I can't. Like,
Adam Driver was okay with what he had to work with.
I mean,
Yeah, he might just be the redeeming quality.
Yeah.
yeah, uh, and even then though, like his character is still really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, here's what I came up with. Okay,
Okay.
Kylo Ren killing the Supreme Ruler
It
was a twist I was not expecting, and I like it. It wasn't a stupid twist either. It was
it was basically the power of two reenacting itself.
yes, yes. Uh, I liked that moment because he kills Snoke, and because he realizes that Snoke's not that good for him. He's holding him back from doing what he really wants to do.
Mm,
Um, and again, I think that is the one redeeming moment in that movie is that even though it killed Snoke off way too early for us, before we even found out anything about him, which I think was a bad move.
yeah.
Um, I like that scene in particular. I like that action. I think that was a good idea, a good choice. And that's about the only thing of redemption I can find.
It was the best scene just put in the wrong time.
Yes.
It should have definitely happened at the end of the movie, and we should have had more scenes with Snoke learning about him before that happened.
I would disagree only on one thing, and that's that if you're gonna build up a character to be like the big bad evil, like most powerful guy in the universe thing, you don't kill him that easily. I think there should
Uh,
have been an actual honest to god like some sort of battle.
have you ever heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Yeah, but that's way different.
Yeah, but
But is it?
he also was a very powerful Sith and got assassinated in his sleep.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's not the first time that we saw this. So, I mean, yeah, like he obviously wasn't expecting it. And that is the time when the Sith apprentice is supposed to attack, is when their
Yep.
master least expects it.
Yep. I like I said, I think that might be the only redeeming part of that movie.
Why the fuck am I
Um,
defending Last Jedi?
yeah, I was gonna say that's my job usually. Um, uh, Geez, I'm gonna be honest. The even though the hyperspeed ramming was incredibly stupid, the effects on screen were really fucking dope.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
all of that is gonna leave me with an aggregate score of 3.
I'm gonna
And
give it.
that might be a little inflated, to be honest.
Well, all right. So basically, the whole story of the Last Jedi was basically it technically was three movies made into one, because you get the training in air quotes with Luke and Ray,
Which isn't real training.
which isn't real training. Then you get the scene of Kylo being, basically is the killing fucking Snoke, and then you have Kylo basically, having the rebels as the last stand, and Luke coming back and trying to save everybody. Yeah, it just and with the whole Canto bite, which is legitimately the most pointless plot point, and it's only just to serve a message, which is Slavery is bad, guys. Animal abuse is bad, guys. We shouldn't do this. The rich are bad people. As your sir, as you know, when we first see the movie and we see the Walt Disney fucking sign come up, oh fucking Christ!
Yeah.
It's
It's
and then Ray's doesn't even have a character anymore. Like the only character motivation that she had in fucking The Force Awakens is about her parents. Turns out her parents were a nobody, and so she's a nobody. So that character motivation just drops, and what we left with is legitimately a Mary Sue.
Yep. What's your rating for it?
I'm gonna give it a. This is a movie that I absolutely seethed watching. Was a movie that like actively I just wanted it to stop.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to give it a 1. It was not a good movie. It was a fucking dog shit of a movie. That just
Brad.
shat on my childhood.
Brad.
It's not canon, so it doesn't get a rating.
Come
So
on.
0?
0. Yeah, it's no. It's one of my least favorite movies of all time.
I would have to agree.
Like I enjoy bad movies. Like I am one of those people that will like unironically watch bad movies because I enjoy like how stupid they are. I enjoy stupid dialogue. I enjoy stupid stories. I enjoy bad acting. Uh
This
th-
was just bad.
this was just bad. Like
Yeah.
it's unironically bad.
Yeah.
Like there are plenty of bad movies that I enjoy watching because they are bad but
Rubber.
unironically funny.
Have you ever watched
Unironic.
Rubber?
Yes, Rubber, uh The Room,
Mhm.
Days of Thunder, which is just a really bad like NASCAR 80s action movie with like next to no story, but it's got like fast cars in it. Like I enjoy bad movies, but The Last Jedi is legitimately just a bad movie. And
Awful.
and one that like it's it's not even worth like watching to laugh at or anything like that. It's that bad.
Yeah.
So
It
I'm
really is
going
awful.
0.
It is definitely a great example of character assassination.
Yep.
Well,
That leaves us with an aggregate of 1.3.
That makes that's pretty good for me.
I was even generous.
Yeah, you were.
Um, that leaves us off with the last film, The Rise of Skywalker.
well let me just real quick,
Mhm.
just to go back a second. Like this is how bad the movie was to me. I almost stopped being a Star Wars fan. I have been a Star Wars fan, like I said, since I was 4 years old. I have read tons and tons, like forever been a Star Wars fan. Like, uh, I couldn't tell you how many of the Lego sets I had, how many of the books I had, like anything Star Wars. I had to have my hands on it. That movie almost made me like just quit it entirely.
I know that feeling.
Can we talk about Legos for a second? Like I never really want to buy like a Disney trilogy Lego set. Like
Agreed.
like the only Disney trilogy Lego set that I have is Poe's Black X-wing from The Force Awakens, and that's it. I only buy like stuff from the OT or the prequel trilogy.
Yep. I mean, I don't blame you. On to movie number 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
So you wanna hear some behind the scenes stuff?
Hmm.
JJ was absolutely fucking furious with Ryan Johnson after The Last Jedi.
No surprise.
Yeah, no, like he was beefing with him hard, and it makes absolute, it makes absolute sense. Like JJ had a whole bunch of other stuff set up, and Ryan Johnson just was like, "Lol, no." And I think that's it's probably one of the problems why this trilogy was so fucking just in shambles from the get go, is because George Lucas was the person that wrote the OT and then also the prequel trilogy. He had some help from other screenwriters, but it was mostly his ideas. And
Yep.
that didn't happen in this trilogy. You had J.J. Abrams, then you had Ryan Johnson, and then it went back to J.J. Abrams.
Yep.
It didn't have a consistent screenplay writer throughout.
Yeah. Um, they spent most of the movie trying to fix all the problems with the last film,
Hmm.
and it honestly just made the film bad.
Yeah.
Um,
Like Act 1 just felt like a whole movie within 40 minutes as well. Of how fast paced everything had to go to try and actively fix what Ryan Johnson left, to
yeah.
salvage what they could.
Yeah, and the problem is it didn't redeem it either. It just made
No.
it worse.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and try to break it down anymore because I've not even bothered to watch the full thing. Um,
I
but
think
I'm honestly I'm just giving it a 3.
I'll
uh,
give it a 3 because or I take that. I haven't seen it either. I know the story,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't bothered to watch the movie. I'll give it like a 2.5. I'll say because I mean at least they tried.
Yeah.
Or at
um
least J.J. Abrams tried.
so it the they try to actively make they one of the things that they try to do is try to make Ray not look like a Mary Sue. And
Failed.
it
They
failed
failed at
hard.
that.
Like legitimately, she like the first thing that that she fails at is she like when they get onto the ice planet and they go up against with the mask girl, and the mask girl instantly just likes her. Mary Sutre instantly develops a new power out of nowhere. Mary Sutre um
We all know this.
yeah,
This
but
is
no.
this has been beaten into the ground
But
through the core of the earth and out the other side.
they had one last shot to just try to make Ray into a decent character, and they absolutely failed. And it's just now at this point, like they should have just made Finn the fucking Jedi,
Yeah,
Bec-
probably.
because
Well,
Finn,
Or they should have just figured out how to write Ray.
you guys
yeah.
are forgetting one thing. There's a reason that she's like one of the most powerful people in the universe, and that's just it's girl magic.
Well, it was girl magic, and then it became Palpatine magic.
No, it was still girl magic though.
Yeah. Well, the Force is female,
Yeah.
apparently.
Oh my god. Just stop before I vomit.
Yeah. No, it was. And plus, like J.J. Abrams was trying to figure out another villain instead of Palpatine as the main BBEG, and Disney shot that down, and then he was kind of forced into a corner to bring back Palpatine, because obviously, since Kylo was the Vader, he had to redeem himself at the end. And
Against literally the exact same character that Vader redeemed himself against.
yeah. And then this whole Skywalker saga, just not even including the like the first two movies of the Disney trilogy, just means absolutely nothing now. If you
Yep.
look into like the Disney trilogy, it means nothing because
Yep.
Palpatine just came back.
Well, I mean, literally calling it a trilogy is ridiculous because it's the most disjointed trilogy of all time.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
is. They're the same characters, but god damn, they're
I
not.
mean, the characters are pretty much the only thing that tie all the movies together because nothing else does.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Uh, at the end of the day, I will say that it's still better than The Last Jedi, but not by much. So I'm gonna give it a 2. So we got us.
Okay, well that leaves us with a 2.5 aggregate for that. So our final ranking for the films are The Last Jedi as the worst. Yeah, no duh. After that, The Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, also no duh. Interestingly, after that, The Phantom Menace. Honestly, a little surprised there.
It's
It
because
was
you
the first
got.
one we did. I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
well, no.
here's what's more interesting. You know what's after that one?
Empire.
Empire Strikes Back. Then we have The Force Awakens, Attack of the Clones, The Return of the Jedi, then A New Hope, and Revenge of the Sith. I actually think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if I had to pick movies to watch, it would probably be, A New Hope and Revenge of the Sith, if I could only watch 2 movies. But hey, that's me.
I
I
just want.
mean,
I just want Disney to. Why didn't George Lucas just sell it to the Japanese?
sell it to Peter Jackson.
Well, the whole
I
story is.
mean, Peter Jackson would have actually done something good with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing is with George selling it. Like George could have gotten a lot more money than 4 billion. It was a decision, like it was a very quick decision on his part. Like he was writing a new trilogy, but he, after the backlash that he got with the prequels, he didn't want to suffer that backlash again. So like he knew that he could have gotten a lot more money. And
I mean,
honestly, I wouldn't have mind, if the Japanese got it, or like Peter Jackson, because
I
I
mean,
don't I don't trust any of these Hollywood studios with that type of IP.
I agree.
that's one of those things. It's like, you know, it's one thing to criticize. Like, I understand like criticizing a movie or whatever, but like someone who can like look back, like I gotta imagine there are so many people that are like, I shouldn't have been that hard on the prequel trilogies after seeing the new ones.
Yeah,
Like, it was one of those things. Like, I used to be sort of like a I used to like when I was trying to be an edge lord, I would sit there and go like, oh, the original trilogy is so much better. Like, the prequels suck. And then I saw, then I grew up a little bit, and then I saw the the new the new trilogy, and I was like, oh, what an idiot I was. Who
yeah,
knew that this was going to be as good as it ever got?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, it's yeah, they're just, the new ones are just kind of bad.
Long story short, Lord of the Rings is better. So.
Oh yeah, obviously we well, you and I know that.
Yeah.
Corey, on
uh,
the other hand,
I mean, I know that the Lord of the Rings is really good.
you've never watched them though.
I never watched them.
That needs to change.
It will.
Uh, well, once
It
I move
better.
once I move in with Brad, it'll change.
Yeah,
For
that's.
first
Is it
thing,
is it official? Are you guys gonna go find someplace to move into?
more than
Yeah, I'd like
likely,
to.
yeah, I would love to.
Good, because you guys need to find someplace. Because You need to watch those movies. That's the only reason.
Well, I mean, even if we don't, even if like I would like to, but even if we don't, like, we still need to watch the the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah. I mean,
It is unacceptable that you
I'm
haven't seen them,
we're
Corey.
we're gonna be spending a lot of time together during Zach's wedding.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll bring along the extended editions. We can get
You can take one day.
part of the way through it.
Oh, I have 5 days off through that whole thing. Hold on. So yeah, no, yeah. We'll do that then on one of those days.
Okay.
After you guys watch the Lord of the Rings extended edition trilogy, then we'll sit down. We'll do another one of these for that.
Okay.
That's fine by me.
So does anybody have anything else to say about Star Wars?
Read the books.
Yeah, books are good, especially the Darth Bane trilogy. The Admiral Thrawn trilogy is also great.
Reject Disney. Uh, reject Disney. Go back to EU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reject Disney. Return to EU.
Just if enough of us declare the new trilogy non-canon, it'll have to be true.
I mean, there's a lot of people in Disney that are trying to get that to happen.
I
Yeah.
mean, there was a petition going around to make it like a non-canon. I think it got a lot of signatures too.
Yeah.
As well as
What?
it should, like it should have, just because of, like, in comparison how bad it is to the EU, or Legends as it's now called.
Yeah.
One of the things that the new trilogy really did hurt for Disney was Disney was expecting to get a whole bunch of money from the Chinese market, and
Yeah.
after the first movie, it fucking dipped.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
So it didn't even it hurt the American market, and the Chinese market also took a dive too. So it was a failed venture.
Well, you know what? In light of that information, my favorite trilogy of all time.
uh, I mean, but it didn't really hurt the Chinese though. It just only hurt Disney.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. Like, it
Oh.
hurt Disney, lost Disney tons of money. Woo!
Well, they didn't lose money. They just
Well,
didn't
yeah,
make as much as they thought they would.
Yeah.
no,
They still made a return. They just didn't think that it was gonna be as big.
Yeah. Final thoughts?
I just pray that some of the new stuff that they're going to be coming out with, they might actually, you know, recognize that they need to treat one of the world's most beloved IPs with a even just a modicum of respect. And I think
Yeah.
the backlash against these movies will help to do just that. And all I can do is hope that, in in you know sort of how, the Mandalorian has given me just a little bit of hope, that they'll continue that trajectory and make these shows and stuff like that just better.
Yeah. Corey?
If Disney decides to make a new trilogy, have Dave Filoni as the main screenwriter for all three films.
Yeah, no, that's probably
Him
correct,
or
honestly.
Favreau.
Yeah.
I would go with Filoni.
Yeah, but Favreau's also not bad.
Yeah, Favreau's not bad, but if I had to choose, Dave, definitely
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah. I guess my final thought is fucking fire Kathleen Kennedy already. Jesus Christ.
They can't. She's one of the highest female leading executives. That they'll put bad press.
Reassign her to something unimportant like the next Mulan movie or something. Have her go ruin something else.
Give her Marvel. Marvel's dead.
Marvel always sucked. I mean,
Yeah, but now that the Avengers are done, and
yeah, now it's bad.
and Robert
Now
Downey
it's
Jr.
really bad.
left, it's bad. So just give her Marvel. Let her drive that into the ground so that craze can finally end.
That would also be nice, honestly.
Yeah.
Let her
Closing
ruin.
comment? No closing comments.
Um. And overall, I wish George Lucas never sold Star Wars.
Yeah.
Join me in bringing down Disney.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Well, that will be it for the BCJ Cast this week. I hope you've enjoyed your time here. Go ahead, leave a like down in the thing if you like Star Wars, or a dislike if you don't. I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, outside of the most recent trilogy. But it's not canon anyway, so we don't care. Comment, subscribe, hit that bell button if you forget that we upload on the second and last Friday of the month. And I hope you've enjoyed your time here, and we'll see you next time.